Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay and today we are talking about the new Lattafa Eclaire perfume, which is so obviously inspired by Giardini di Toscana Bianco Latte, and I love this fragrance so much. It's sweet, creamy, and absolutely addictive. This is a very fluffy, enveloping musky vanilla scent, that kind of condensed milk vibe, like that sweetened condensed milk with caramel drizzle. There's a toffee smell to this, and I do pick up on little hints of like coumarin, like little almondy sweetness running throughout it. This is quite powdery, sweet, and delicious, and I find it very comforting in the fall and winter. But I wear this any season, any occasion, anytime. I absolutely love this scent. To me, it's not too heavy or cloying in the spring or summer. I know some people say they find it way too sweet for that, so that is kind of why they do love the Eclair a little bit more, at least on my TikTok, and we'll kind of get into that. But I really love this. The only fragrance that really gives me a headache, or one of them, I would say, is something that's very heavy on the woods, spice, or the florals. Like for example, Aroma Club de Nuit Imperial. That fragrance, I love it. I think it's very close to Delina Exclusive, but if I overspray it, I really do get a headache. This one, I can overspray it. It's really just gonna surround me with like this fluffy, sweet vanilla goodness. Whereas that fragrance, I will be crying in bed with the worst headache of my life, taking an Excedrin and regretting my decisions, but I still will smell good. But I just want to put that out there. So this, beautiful in fall and winter. Love to wear this on its own, but it also layers beautifully with other fragrances, just as a really creamy, sweet, addictive base. And so really yummy, can't go wrong. Beautiful fragrance. Of course, I always recommend, not blind buying. Definitely try a sample from luckyscent. I do have a code with them. I will pop it right here. But I did blind buy the full bottle, and I'm very happy with my purchase. With that being said, this is $150, which is a lot of money. I will also mention that this keeps happening to me where I have to like clean it because it's like oozing out and it doesn't look the best. I just want to mention that really quickly. I've heard that this is a reoccurring issue with their bottles, so just be mindful of that. I want to let you guys know like the pros, the cons, the everything, but it is a really delicious vanilla scent. Now this one, mind you, that is $150 on luckyscent. Yes, you can use my discount code. It'll make it a little bit less, but still a lot of money. Whereas I bought my Eclair from Lattafa off the TikTok shop for $36, but I do see it on Lattafa for like $45, $50, but that's still a third of the price, which is insane for how close this is. I'm not gonna make you wait. This is a very close dupe, closer than Caramel Cascade. It's very, very sweet and creamy. I will say it's much lighter, so let me go ahead and say first, the notes in the Bianco Latte are top notes of caramel, mid notes of honey and coumarin, and base notes of that musk and the vanilla. Whereas the Eclair, let me look at the notes, I don't remember them, but I know very similar. There's like milk, sugar, vanilla, caramel, give me a second, white flowers. Okay, this one has top notes of caramel, sugar, and milk, mid notes of honey and white flowers, and base notes of vanilla, praline, and musk. And to me, the biggest difference is in the opening. In the opening, I will say, I do slightly pick up on the white florals, and people that I have like shared these fragrances to side by side just to get second opinions have said the same thing. My friend Chris smelled both and he was like loving Bianco Latte, but when he smelled the opening of Eclair, he did say it reminded him of like a vanilla air freshener. So I'm pretty sure that's coming from the addition of the florals. But once it dries down, to me, I won't say 100% similar, but definitely in that 90%, 95% range. Very creamy, Very sweet, very light, I will say, light in comparison to the Bianco Latte. That is the biggest difference. Bianco Latte is a 10 out of 10 out of 10 performer. You're gonna smell this all day. It's really going to project off of you so nicely. Like I said, when you smell this fragrance, or maybe I didn't say that, but when you smell this, like just put your nose up to it. It gets trapped in your nostrils for like the next 3 minutes. Whereas with Eclair, that's definitely not going to happen, at least for me. It doesn't radiate as nicely as the Bianco Latte. But if you do overspray, you can get a similar effect. And still, I get like up to 5 hours with this scent, maybe 6. 7's pushing it a little bit. But I mean, for $36, for $45, $50, and you get a very similar scent profile, it's still that creamy, sweet, lactonic vanilla. Still has that fluffy, yummy, delicious, gourmand quality to it that I love. I would say it does feel a little bit more smooth, but I think that's just because it doesn't have the coumarin. To me, the coumarin, like I said, just gives it a little bit of that almondy sweetness, and I kind of feel like it gives it a bit of depth, you know? This one doesn't feel like it has as much base, if that makes sense. This one smells a little bit more rich, and I do find it to be more enveloping. But guys, on the dry down, they are super similar. And for $36, I just think you can't go wrong. I will say the Bianco Latte to me is a little bit more powdery, whereas this one, again, is just more light, airy, smooth. It is a lighter fragrance. So I've actually seen some people on TikTok say in my comment section that they do prefer the Eclair because it's not so heavy. Some people say that Bianco Latte is much too strong and sweet and overpowering for spring and summer, so they're happy to have an option like Eclair that is more light. I personally love Bianco Latte. If I had to pick between the two, I'm still gonna go with Bianco Latte because I do think, again, the performance is just there. It has more body. I love the coumarin, and I like it hot and heavy. But if you're somebody that knows you like something sweet but that's not too much, then maybe you would prefer Eclair. And again, I wore this bowling and a girl came up to me. She gave me a really nice compliment. We hugged. Like, I love women, really like love interactions and stuff like that with women. I love girls that are just super nice and kind and whatever, and I try to give that, and then when you get it, it's just really nice. But anyway, she gave me a nice compliment. We hugged, didn't know each other. And then she said to me that, wow, and you smell good. And I was wearing this, but it wasn't something she said right away. Like, once she smelled me and she was in my scent bubble, then she did say it. And yeah, this is just very similar. And what I do notice with this scent, with Bianco Latte, is sometimes you put it on and you can't really, like, you don't smell it radiating off into your scent bubble sometimes. But when you actually go outside, for me, that is when, wow, like, I can really feel its presence surrounding you in the most delicious way. The biggest difference, in short, to me, this one feels like it has more base, it has a little bit more depth to it. Some people say that Bianco Latte has an elegance. I would not say that. I buy Bianco Latte because it's really, really sweet and creamy and warm and comforting. I think that the performance is really there, and that is why I think it is worth the money. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I think it's so elegant, I think it smells so rich, so expensive. It's rich and a delicious, yummy, sweet way, but it's not, to me, like a very expensive smelling fragrance. Maybe like a touch, but I really wouldn't say like it smells elegant. You know what I'm saying? This one, I would not say it smells like air freshener like Chris. He did say on the dry down it did smell much more close, which I completely agree with, but I do think the white florals just, again, make it feel a little bit more light, you know? Very lactonic, very smooth, very mouth-watering too, and again, this one does get compliments. Let's talk about the bottle, since that did fall off. I do not love this bottle. I'm gonna be real with you. I do prefer the Giardini di Toscana bottle, but guys, if it smells this good and that close to something like this, I will I will rock this bottle all day on my vanity. I do not care. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't want to drag it. I feel like that's all I need to say. Very, very close, just not as strong in the projection and the longevity. It's not like, it doesn't have as much of that depth, that really deep sweetness coming from, I think, the coumarin. And yeah, if you like those creamy, sweet, caramelly vanilla scents, I think you'd love both. But again, if you want something that's really gonna pack that punch and give you really great performance, this is where I would go. But guys, for the price, I will always be repurchasing Eclair. I think it's so good. I also recently got from Ocha, gosh, what is it called? It's the one with Paul Reacts. It's the vanilla, and I have not opened it yet, but that one is also supposed to be very similar to Bianco Latte, and I will try that and let you guys know. I think I should do a video with all of them. The Caramel Cascade, the whatever it's called, That Girl #2, I think. I'm so sorry if that's wrong, but I should do a video on like all the dupes so you can see what's closest, the similarities, the differences, etc. But yeah, it's a really great fragrance, really solid release, and for the price, you cannot beat it. I'm happy to have both. I would recommend maybe having both because again, when it's really, really hot and maybe you don't want something so sweet and intense, that one is perfect. There is that extra coumarin that just, I mean, anything lately that has coumarin or tonka bean or almonds, I have just been so obsessed with. So this is really giving it to me in the best of ways.